best words.
You know what?
I use
Shut
the
up,
best
Joel,
words.
because we're on the poll.
God damn it, you baited me that time, you son of a bitch. Every other time is fine, but this is not true. This was a bait. This was a bait and switch.
And let's get right into the comics. All right, guys, welcome to The Pull, our weekly show where we talk about all of the comic books that came out yesterday, and we'll probably mention a few that came out the week before. But for those of you who don't know, the reason we weren't here last week is because I was unavailable, plus it's the 5th week, and on the 5th week, it's mostly just annuals, which really don't matter for the most part.
No,
It was mostly hot garbage.
So the cast decided to take a day off because it was just a bunch of annuals that didn't matter. Although I will say the all-new Wolverine was really good.
That was good, and Suicide Squad Special from Ostrander was amazing. Like, it's one of my favorites of the year so far. If you didn't check that out, please check it out, because DC did a terrible job marketing it.
The Suicide Squad War Crimes book.
Yes.
Which was a solo issue, 40 pages long.
Yep, done in one.
Yep. All right, so anyway, for those of you guys who are first-time listeners, long-time viewers, and I got jokes for days, but not today. I don't know. I'm Benny the Comicstorian, and I read your comic books dramatically back to you on my YouTube channel, Comicstorian. I'm also on Instagram, where I take a lot of nudes and selfies and put those up. And on Twitter, I talk about political debates as to why I think Donald Trump should build a wall.
Ooh.
I want to get rid of all of those damn Marvel characters.
I'd watch out with that, Benny. What with YouTube's new draconian jackbooted policies, let's maybe not talk about politics.
Yeah.
On the right above the upper left in that corner, that would be Sal from the channel Comic Pop. They bring you weekly discussions of awesome, crazy news, Instagram pictures of conventions that they go to and tell no one about, and they're going to be celebrating 40,000 subscribers with a live stream tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Also, occasionally, they show you how to trim your goatee. Sal hasn't done one of those in a while, but it's there. And he fights Santa Claus. Anyway.
I've never done a video about trimming your goatee.
Not yet, but there's time.
Directly to my left is the wonderful, the amazing, the beautiful Caped Joel. He's got the biggest tits on this show, and he loves flaunting them.
Damn. Wow. I don't.
It's actually starting to get a little bit demoralizing how often Joel tries to shake those damn milk bags in my face.
Joel brings you amazing comic book reviews called Comic Smack, and he loves to tie it in whenever I'm doing the exact same book, you asshole. Anyway.
Yeah, jeez, it's almost like the same comics come out every week or something.
I
right?
know,
It's
so
almost like we're
you're
pulling from the
plagiarizing, Joel. You're plagiarizing. Anyway.
Plagiarism.
That's a pre-show joke people listening to this recorded later won't
I
get.
don't think it's a joke.
Joel's also a frequent guest on the Elseworlds Exchange, Sal's other podcast. But don't worry, you can find Joel on a podcast every goddamn day of the week. Follow him on Twitter to know where those are. I don't think anyone really cares, though. It's Joel.
I've got a problem with podcasts, man. If I don't get my fix every day, then the bugs start getting under my skin. Also, I've been streaming recently. I've been streaming Nuka World late at night.
To who?
Pardon? to the 70 people who follow me. Again, I'm doing like kind of a small thing for it, but hey, if you want to check that out, I'm on Twitch now too.
All right. And directly above me is the always funny, always amazing Caitlin McAtee, our pop culture comedian who's funnier than Jimmy Kimmel. Put you on a pedestal there.
Jeez. Oh, jeez.
Is that
no
a pedestal
pressure.
being funnier?
Not
than
hard to
Jimmy
do.
Kimmel?
She's also the individual that considers herself a gremlin when she's already wearing all of her makeup. But I don't even know what you changed. I'm just saying.
Just the hair, really.
She actually tries. She puts on a show and a production. We all just show up.
Yeah, no, she does.
much.
But she brings you wonderful bedtime stories. And what else do you do over there? I don't even fully know everything.
I have a live show called Bedtime Stories that I do on Wednesdays and Fridays at 1 a.m. Eastern Time. It's basically a late-night comic book talk show, but more of a virtual slumber party, because we have a good old-fashioned Stitch and Bitch where we just talk about our favorite comics, our favorite boys, our favorite girls, just pretty much everything. Whatever the chat wants to talk about, we talk about. So if you want to talk directly to me and have fun in the middle of the night, sounds terrible, please join me for my live stream called Bedtime Stories. And I do comic book reviews and convention coverage.
Nice. And don't forget that if you want to talk about boys, Joel and I are always available to talk what the boys be like.
God damn it. Every day with this, man. You endure, Joel. You endure like a motherfucker.
Hey, I put myself in that one with you. Don't worry.
It's true.
So
He's
anyway, today, as usual, we're going to go through all the comic books that came out this week. I'm going to name them all off. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be a great time. Don't forget, I can't read your comments while I'm doing this. It just doesn't work that way. But I do want to mention that if you're going to be in the New York area around New York Comic Con, the entire cast of the Weekly Pull will be there. A lot of stuff planned for me, Sal, and Joel. No, me, Sal, and Rob. Not Joel.
I'll be there. But
there's also a lot of stuff for the extended cast of Joel, Caitlin, and Tiffany. So everyone's going to be doing stuff. It's going to be great. We'll be there. We've got a panel on Saturday, 2 signings, one on Friday, one on Saturday. And we are going to be doing a couple other things, too. It's going to be amazing. You guys should check it out if you're available for it. If you're... My phone went off.
I'll be holding a Go the Weekly Pull sign for the panel that I'm not involved in. I'll just be in the back, just holding a sign.
Go pull go.
Go pull go. Go pull go.
Do pull yes.
Yes.
All right, so on that note, it's time for me to go through all of the Ring-a-Ding-a-Ding-a-Dong comics.
Is that what they're called now? Did they change that?
Ring-a-Ding-a-Ding-a-Dong comics. That's what we're doing.
Dick Van
What
Dyke
weird
shows
time
up.
machine did you fall through this week, Benny?
I don't know what you're talking about there, buddy.
Hey, I'll give you a fat lip.
Yeah, we're doing the Southpaw Canadians method.
Yeah, see?
I'm not your friend, buddy.
I'm not your friend, buddy.
Buddy, Fred.
No, my
I'm not your guy, buddy.
All right, then on that
Guy,
note,
friend.
we've got another manga. For the record, if you're curious as to what I bought, you can see because it says red. And if you just look at it, the big cowgirl with big boobs, I bought that one. It's called 12 Piece, Volume 2.
Is it good?
That's so great.
I haven't read it yet, but it gets pretty good reviews from what I've seen. We've also got the 512th Day of Christmas, a year of marvels. Archer and Armstrong, number 7. Next up, Clown Town. Above the Clouds, Action Lab. Alexander, a new, all different Marvel. Does anyone just drop the goddamn name? Just make it Avengers. Avengers.
Yeah.
No,
we
it's
know
gotta
you're
be
going to
all
drop
new,
it.
all different, all the time.
Yeah,
Until
whatever.
Civil War 2 is done, and then it's just Avengers again.
Alternia Anniversaria. Alters Apogio. Aquaman fights Superman. If you've been following me on Instagram and Twitter, both of those are at Comicstorian. You'll see pictures of that fight. Where basically Mera and Aquaman knocked him out.
Yeah.
Hachi, 75th anniversary, number 1. Arctic Hell, Templars, Assassin's Creed, Batman Beyond, Be Good, Black Star Line, whoa, we're going crazy, Blood and Dust,
Right.
Bloodlines, Boo, the world's cutest dog. I lost my composure on that one.
This is all Benny. He has taken no substances to enhance this. This is all just him, we promise.
Bounty, Brain Buster, Carver, a Paris Story, Champions Classics, Chaos Campus, Sorority Girls versus Zombies, Child of the Sun, Civil War II Ulysses, Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, Criminal, Wrong
Nice, I gotta
time,
read that.
Wrong Place, Crust, 100, Cyborg, Rebirth, Daredevil, Deadpool
Which I
Works
read.
with Money. It's like they basically retcon Cyborg. We'll talk about it on the show, though.
They sure did.
Sweet.
Deadpool Too Soon, Demon Hunter, De-Evolution, Dishonored, Disillusioned, Doctor Strange, Doctor Who, and Drifter.
You know, I noticed because we do like the same comics like over and over again. It's hard to make new jokes for titles that we've already joked
Yeah,
about.
it is. That's why I go
Yeah.
through them with the voices now. Earth Invasion, Eclipse, Empty Zone, Industrial Smile, Ever After, Fables. Wait, I just realized that's the continuation of Fables?
Yes,
Yeah.
it came back without the main dude attached to it because apparently he's super hard to work with.
Oh.
I know, right? I know.
Right back. Somebody's at my door.
All right, yep, you got a minute anyway. Evil Ernie, God Eater, Faster Than Light, Honor and No Curse, or Honor and Curse, Geeks and Greeks, Ghastly Tales, Ghoul
Yeah.
Scouts, Giant Days, Girl Over Paris,
What you
Glitter
doing over
Bomb.
Paris?
Wait, who makes
Glitter Bomb!
I've heard of this one. Oh, it's Jim Zub.
Oh, I like Zub.
Gold Digger with a cat girl on it, sold.
That's
Gold
everything
Star.
Benny wants right there, rolled up in
Goldie
one comic.
Vance, Grant Morrison's 18 Days, The Great Divide, Green Arrow, looks like his sister's back, Grim
Yep, she is.
Tales of Terror, Harley Quinn, this is a weird one, I Mage, Indoctrination, Invincible Iron Man, Jack the Hunted, Jaded, Johnny Saturn, Jughead. I'm like, where are they? Okay.
I like how you
Justice
got
League.
really excited for Jughead, though.
Jughead!
Jughead's great.
Kalala Princess. I
Kala-
think I got that.
The Kalala Princess.
Is that Ariel in the background? All right, it's Disney. We'll get it.
Yeah.
Gotta know
Kill or
what's happening
be
with her.
killed. Kill 6 billion demons. That's the name of the book.
Well, at least they're telling you right up front what's going to happen. You can't claim that book for false advertising.
Remember that really old video that was like 600 babies? I feel like you don't remember that? It was like a fake energy drink advertisement.
Vaguely.
Kitsune Assassin for Hire. Kalapari Legend. Kevin. Oh, that's another Archie spinoff.
Really, Kevin got a spinoff.
Yeah, Kevin got it's Life with Kevin. Yeah.
Wow.
Evan.
Lightspeed
At least
Enforcers.
Archie and Jughead's names you know.
I know, yeah.
Who was Kevin?
Lumberjanes, Magic Girls, Magic Girls, more Magic Girls. That's actually 2 different titles.
Sometimes it's hard to tell.
I appreciate this 80s pop ballad.
A Majestic Garden, Man vs. Rock.
How tight are
Superhero
your leopard pants
Spectacular,
right now?
Zoom Zoom, Avengers, Universe Avengers, something tied to the show. Doctor Strange Prelude, Max Ride, Mayhem Magic,
Thanks, deadly
Mercury
sinners.
Heat, Mesolith, Midnight of the Soul, Modern Testament, Monologue, Moon Knight. Fun side note, before I joined the army, I was trying to be in a heavy metal band.
Oh, I can see it now. What kind of metal would you have played?
Heavy.
Dark metal,
Swedish?
black metal,
I
speed
became
metal,
Swedish.
Viking metal.
Clearly, Death Viking metal.
Death Viking metal, yeah.
I'm a fan of pirate metal myself.
Yeah.
I do like pirate metal. Nailbiter, Knight's Dominion, Nightwing Rebirth, and Ninjak, Fist and Steel. Oh, that came out late. Let me grab that again. Non Biori, Nosferatu, Nowerman, Orchid. Someone pronounce that. XOXO Mon.
Shoshoman? I don't know.
That's much closer than I would have got. I'm like, are they Roman numerals? Is it a big long number?
Paper Girls, Poe Dameron, Goblin Market, Princess Ever After, Goblin Market. Project Homeland. Don't think that's related to the show Homeland, but maybe.
But it could be.
Prometheus, Puppet Master, Red King Presents, Red One, Regular Story, Revival issue 42, Rise of the Black Flame, Monadic,
I feel like I should be holding up my lighters right about now.
Saints.
Who am I kidding? No one holds up their lighters anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone holds up their
You hold up
phones
your phone,
now.
jeez, or glow sticks. If
Oh,
you go to a Hot
I
City
thought you
lighter
were
app.
confused as to why someone would be holding a phone or a lighter at a metal concert.
Yeah. Satan's
So-
Hollow, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Doctor Strange and the Secret Defenders. I looked into that. It's a bunch of old issues put together.
Oh.
Sex, Sheriff of Babylon, Silk, goes to the negative zone. 6, Skyborn, Sonic, Boom!
Like, ooh.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Spider, Supreme Squadron. Oh, here we go. I gotta say, Star Missions, but Star Missions in Japanese. Konnichiwa. Star Missions in...
Databayo.
Datebayo doesn't even mean it.
Someone say Star Missions in
I
German.
know.
Oh, it's actually Star Missions in German. And then whatever this language is, it's Star Missions. And then whatever this language is, Star Missions. And then whatever this language is, Star Missions. I got this. I can speak so many different languages.
Solid.
Star Wars
Nailed
Episode
it.
2, The Attack of the Clones. They made a book for it. Strange Tractors, Strong Girl, Sun Bakery, Supergirl, Superman, Tales of Mystery, Tall Tales, The Unknown Union.
I would love to see what that's doing to his mic right now.
Sal, the whole time you were just zoning out, waiting for it to end. You were just like,
The horror. The
Oh,
horror.
the Corpse Walker, the Crusader, the Dream Vault, the Flintstones, Fuse, Lone Ranger, Lone Ranger, Lone Ranger.
Oh, hey, speaking of those Hanna-Barbera things, you hear Paul Miotti and Connor are going to be writing a Jetsons comic now for that like Hanna-Barbera comic universe they're doing. That'll be fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is the Flintstones. I was like, why are you talking about that?
They need to end Flintstones.
Really, the comic?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's not good.
It's not as good as it should be, especially considering it's the dude who wrote Prez that Benny and I both love to death. It's just not nearly as smart or as funny.
People think that it's really funny and smart. They're like the Yabba Dabba Doo origin was revealed in this issue, and people were like, "This is so deep and dark," and I'm like, "Shut up."
It's the Flintstones.
Ravening, Roach, Rocketeer at War. Oh my God, they brought back Rocketeer.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
The Shadow, the Sweetness, Whisperer War. That is Walking Dead. Walking Dead Whisperer War. The Well Keeper, Wendy Project, The Woods, Thin Titan. These is two of them.
Oh, okay.
Transformers, Sins of the Wreckers. Truer than Trousdale, Uncanny X-Men, Unfollow.
Close.
Uprising, Vortex.
We're gonna find out tomorrow if they throw out
Sound
his
like
voice.
lemon grab. Unacceptable.
Who is voiced by Justin Roiland, the dude who created Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Wandering Stone. We all wish for Dad. Winnie. Who is Jose Luck? The World of Archie Comics Animal. And then there's three more. Wretched Things, You, and Zana.
Woo!
We did it. We did the thing. We made it, guys.
We made it through all of that. Good job,
We're
Sal.
still alive.
I always
Are
love
we?
how much Sal hates that I do that. I know he hates it.
I really do, but it's not you. It's just the concept.
Of what, naming off all the books that came out?
I just can't do it. I go to a happy place.
I can't, man. I just can't. He goes into his Sherlock mind palace for a minute.
Yeah, I just I think of it as the dream catcher mind.
Ah.
So on that note, Sal, why don't you open up today's discussion? Wait,
Okay.
you definitely didn't read this. So, Joel, why don't you open up today's discussions? 12 Beast. Hold on, let me find the right one.
12 Beast.
I think you wanted to say Aquaman because we're going alphabetically.
Yeah, go with Aquaman.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Okay.
But 12 Beast is at the top because it has numbers.
Numbers before letters. I see what they did there.
Actually, did anyone read the Avengers book? I know I said I wasn't going to.
It's in front of me right now. I
that the one
kept
with
meaning
Wasp?
to read it.
That's the one with Wasp on the cover, yeah.
No, I read Justice League.
Okay, all right, then Aquaman, go first.
So yeah, Aquaman is cool. This is the big, much-touted fight between Arthur Curry and Superman. Of course, this is a different Superman than this Aquaman remembers, and they make a solid point of that in how he deals with him. And Aquaman gets really fed up in this issue and really angry, saying, you know, why does no one give me a chance?
You're wrong, because they totally acted like Superman and him knew each other forever.
Well, a little bit.
He even made reference to, you guys have a trinity of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and I was like, if I had just met you, I would not be associating you with my other two friends.
Again, it's a little fast and loose about who knows what and how all these books fit in with each other. Perfect example, in Superman this week, it looks like his big coming out party to the world, and you have to ask, well, okay, where does this fit in between Action Comics and Justice League and everything?
Classic DC over the last 15 years in the where does this fit in question that's constantly raised in every mainstream book.
Yeah.
Because they've never bothered.
They just kind of are like, I'll deal with it later. It's
And
sort
then
of like shoving all your clothes under the bed.
Well, they're like,
You
I'll
guys
deal
keep
with it
talking,
later
someone's
because
at my
in
door.
15 they're like, I'll deal with it later because in 10 years I'll have a crisis.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's funny because I just did the video today on a side discussion about the one where Harley Quinn confronted the Joker in her series with Amanda Conner. And the number one question in that is, where does this fit in? I thought Joker had no face. And I'm like, look, DC says it's legit. Don't overthink it.
Well, and like, there's no reason for them not to say that it's legit forever. Where they're like, "Oh, that fits. Oh yeah, no, that's in continuity. Yeah, that too." Because they're never gonna be asked a follow-up question, or if they are, they're just gonna ignore it. Like, they don't care.
Yeah.
And because the second you admit, like, well, that doesn't count, then they're like, well, then sales are gonna dip. So they just have to say everything is in continuity.
Well, and to be honest, with Harley's New 52 run, it's really hard to tell where most of that takes place.
It's
I mean,
almost like
that
the Wolverine
entire
syndrome.
run-
Like, this week she's with Suicide Squad, and then next week she's back at her place in Brooklyn. Like,
Oh,
Yeah, like you can't, especially with her storyline, you've got to take it with a grain of salt because it's really just going to dip in and out of timeline and in and out of continuity. But I feel like with Aquaman, since that Superman meeting, because it's Rebirth and it's all happening within the Rebirth event and the Rebirth timeline, so I feel like it's more important where that fits in.
I agree with you on that one. But I was going to let Joel finish what he was saying about the Aquaman book.
But he's gone.
Yeah, so I guess I'm going to have to take over.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
the book's not bad. I feel like, honestly, this story was written because Aquaman really didn't skip a beat from the storyline that was going on before. So I feel like this story was written for New 52 Superman before they were killing him. And so they had to make some quick changes to the script to make it reflect the new Superman. But overall, and I guess I'll keep going, Joel, since you just got back in here. One thing that I really liked about it is Aquaman blatantly talking about the fact of the matter, where he's like, you guys are the Trinity, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. And then you've got the Loyalty Brothers or whatever you called them weird, which is like Flash, Green Lantern, and he's like, and Cyborg. And I'm like, Cyborg has never hung out with the Flash and Green Lantern, but I guess you gotta lump him in with someone.
Well, because otherwise
who
you
you call him
portray
brother?
that he's useless and not really that he's deliberately being crammed onto the team for no real reason.
Oh, we'll cover that in the Cyborg book when we get to that.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he calls himself the Black Sheep. He's like, no one ever acknowledges that I even exist. I'm the Black Sheep. No one goes to me. And then he calls himself an obscure fish while fighting Superman. He's like, you consider me this like obscure fish? And Superman's like, what? What are you talking about?
What's hilarious is pre-Flashpoint Superman would be like would say something really inspiring and thoughtful about his value, and be like, "Where I'm from, you are incredibly powerful and incredibly valuable, and you like no one has gone through as much shit as you," and like just completely bolster his spirit and cut through the core to him. I didn't read it, but like I assume that. You know, Greg Rucka.
I thought it was going there, but it didn't really go there. It was just kind of both parties getting offended, and then Mira stepping in and one punching Superman, which was pretty great.
I mean, basically, he took the Dark Knight Returns route, Superman, where it's kind of like, look, I know you can do better than this. I'm here to try and make it so we're not fighting. And he's like, well, you're working for the United States, and I'm trying to stop a war. And he's like, look, we can work this out, Arthur. Just come with me. And, you know, one of those kind of deals. Like,
Which in Aquaman's defense, he didn't mobilize his troops. His troops mobilized on their own only because it was bad frame-up information. So it was really kind of a comedy of errors in this situation.
And I love how he acknowledged that. He's like, what's happening to me happens to you all the time, Clark.
Like, because you're Superman, they give you the benefit of the doubt.
Right, no, he said, like, you're always the villains are always trying to set you up to take the fall. That's happening to me now. Why aren't you believing me? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
Because you're the freaky fish guy, that's why.
The freaky fish. I am not a freaky
Fish guy.
I will say this, though. This is probably the best Aquaman storyline that I've read since probably, like, issue 30 or so, whenever Jeff Johns completely left the book.
It's good stuff. I like the socio-political commentary. Even Black Manta's little side story is getting really interesting with Nemo. You think it's going to go one way, and in this issue, they swerve you, where he's like, no, Nemo's stupid.
Yeah, they did. That was awesome.
I really like the fact that they've been rooting him in that socio-politicalness, because that's really where Aquaman belongs. Every time they try to veer him out, the story becomes either subpar or it jumps a lot of sharks.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively. He's just jumping sharks.
Just hopping them sharks.
Mopey words at best. Clark, come on, bro.
Bruh, are you serious, bruh?
So, I mean, I wouldn't recommend picking up issue 6, but I definitely say the whole story arc, which, okay, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't it say that this is the conclusion?
Yes.
Because it's not.
It really isn't.
I feel like it's like the end of Vikings, where they like the last season where they tied up everything in a nice bow and Bjorn is king of all the Vikings now. And then his dad gets back and gets really high and starts like messing shit up in the Merchant Square. And then it just ends and you're like, that wasn't really a conclusion.
It's concluded in as much as Aquaman got to go home, but what happens next is anyone's guess.
The overall thing of him being, because I mean, the story arc basically is there's a bunch of people assuming things are going wrong and they've arrested him. He's finally free and he's gone home and he's proven his point, but they haven't resolved the who started this, all that stuff. But
Aquaman even basically says this is going to get a lot worse from here on out, Mara.
No, I love his last line where he was like, because Superman's like, you got to fix this or else. And so as they're leaving, Mara's like, well, what is or else? and I think I'll even pull it up. Aquaman's response was like, I gotta fix this. Like,
we done messed up real bad, Mira.
Yeah.
I like that. We gotta fix this or else. What do you mean?
Yeah, here it is.
Else.
Yeah, no, he ends it with, or else. And then as they're going, she's like, were you just threatened by Superman? He's like, yes. Was he serious? Absolutely. What does that mean? It means I really have to fix this.
I don't know if you read that in Justice book, but he could literally pick up all of Atlantis and drop it in the desert.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I mean,
it's a good book, good conclusion to the first arc. I definitely recommend the book or get all 6 or wait for the trade to come out. Obviously, don't read the last chapter in a 6-chapter arc, but...
Yeah.
What are you, crazy?
And that brings us to what may be my favorite book this week, Batman.
Yes.
It was really strong and really unexpected, too.
Sal, you
Yeah.
want to take point on this one since I know it's one of the fewer ones you read this week?
Yeah, totally. Batman is this is a standalone one shot, different artist, really, really solid, great work. Is that Ivan Rice who did the art on this one?
I think so.
I wanna say
Yes,
yes.
it is.
It's just just phenomenal. Shows that there are many people who could pick up the reins and draw an amazing, beautiful Batman book. This one showcases Gotham Girl kind of coping with the death of her brother, and Batman being more or less powerless to cope with grief because that's not exactly his strong suit.
No, it's
I loved the comment that he made to Alfred. Like, how did you help me through it? And Alfred's like, Master Bruce, with all with no offense, but you put on a bat costume and leave your cozy house to go jump off rooftops. I don't think I've helped you.
Yeah,
again, sassy Alfred in full force in this book.
I did like, though, how in his inability to be able to cope with it, he does wind up being able to connect with her and comfort her on some level.
It's a warmer, sweeter Batman.
Yeah, at the very end where she's like, the only thing I can do that makes this horrible pain go away is help Gotham every night. And
he's just like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, been there, know what that's like.
At that moment, he takes off his mask and he goes, "I'm Bruce. I know that feel, bro."
I know.
And it was like,
It's
I was
cool.
like, oh.
I feel like this is the beginning to Bruce revealing his identity to way too many people again.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Well,
I-
a well-adjusted Batman would just share that secret
It's
with
true.
me.
But you know what? I have a feeling that Gotham Girl is going to get done. Like, she's not going to be around for a super long
Oh,
time.
there's a ticking clock on her.
Yeah, so literally there is a clock. Every time she uses her powers, we're watching the disintegration and end of that character. Unless,
They should spawn it up and put the hour, like the power meter on there.
Oh, like Spawn
I
used
would
to
be
do.
into it.
Yeah.
I
So
would
I
like
said
that.
spawn it up.
Oh, yeah. All right. And now your spawn it up line makes more sense now that I know the context.
Yeah.
This is going to sound weird, but it might be cool if they did it in a really subtle way, like How I Met Your Mother did it, where it's just the numbers hiding in the scene towards a countdown.
No one liked How I Met Your Mother. We all were forced to watch it.
Nobody liked the end of it, but that scene when Marshall's dad died was really good.
That was a good one. But
I do like the
I like this a
shorthand.
lot. I can tell you right now the reason why Gotham Girl's not gonna be around much longer. Her name's Gotham Girl, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just not a good naming scheme.
It's not a character with shelf life. I do like her like craziness as she shaves her head like
Britney
11.
Spears did.
And then she talked. I like how she was talking to, I think his name is Hank.
Yeah,
Yes.
her
She
brother.
was
Yeah.
talking to Hank the
Yeah.
whole issue, and he's obviously wasn't there. You know.
Yeah.
And before we forget, a cavalcade of Silver Age D-list Batman villains like
yes!
How
Captain
could I forget
Stingray.
about Kite Man? That was the
Who
best part of the book.
amazing. Why does Kite Man look so good? That's a great redesign for him.
That was spectacular. Kite Man, hell yeah!
I love the pirate. And she's like, "Oh my god, look, a pirate, yar."
Captain Stingray is his name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
oh
pretty-
yeah, Stingray, that's right. I couldn't remember
A
it.
real villain from the 70s. At first I'm like, did they make this dude up? Then I Googled him. Oh my god, he's real.
Yeah, Tom King was talking about how like terrifying these villains can actually be. He's like, I want to take these like D-list forgotten villains and showcase them in a way where it's like if they were real, they would be terrifying. Like, sure, when you think about like a pirate being like, walk the plank, it's hilarious. But then you think about like he's your half brother and he's insane and he's dressed you as Batman. Like this legitimately crazy person, like putting on a pirate costume and forcing you to kill yourself is like really messed up and kind of scary. And I'm like, yeah, that's Gotham.
In a real world
Yeah,
context,
I can see
yeah.
that. I did like Kite Man's dialogue because it's
Brilliant.
he literally just screams, "Kite Man!"
Just
The
like a
next man was,
Pokemon.
Kite Man! Hell yeah!
Yeah, the dude from I Hate Everything is going to be really excited because that's his logo is Kite Man.
Oh yeah. So I mean, overall, if you haven't read the Batman book up to this point, it would be good to read them all. But you can just read this one with enough context as to what's going on.
Yeah.
And it also
It's a
sets
nice
up the
buffer
Monster
issue.
Men book, which is the big crossover coming up
Yes.
next month.
Yes.
I love too. They mentioned Bane at the end of this one too.
Yeah.
Bane's new redesign is great. He's got
Looks
studs
so
on him now.
good.
Bane, I cannot wait for. But okay, so next book on the list, Cyborg. Did anyone
Yes.
you
Read it.
Joel,
I
who
read it.
read it?
I read it.
I read it.
Well, Caitlin, you take point on this one then, because you had Aquaman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because Joel had Aquaman.
Yeah.
I
Didn't really
I
walked away.
speed read through this, but I believe they retconned They retcon Cyborg. Cyborg. They retcon Cyborg.
Cyborg.
Joel, take one.
Joel,
Yeah,
go
so-
for it, buddy.
So Cyborg, right? You know, he's this guy. He's from Detroit and he's a metalman, but he's not one of the metalmans.
No.
Yep.
So basically, the retconning with Cyborg, and I found this to be funny because. No, I'm just gonna move forward with it because
Everybody is taking it away. It's amazing. Go for
she
it.
can't say his name. We'll give her the next book.
enough.
Someone that she can say the name of.
I'd feel like a jerk taking it away from him. But basically, it's a retcon to his history. It's like they're giving you Victor Stone's origin again. Weirdly, the first issue is more about his dad. They spend more time talking about Silas Stone than they do Victor. And I'm like, really? We're at this point now? We need to add more context to his dad?
Feels like they always do
It
that. Like
actually
every time
made me care about that a lot more. And I like how they did the "my dad's in the source code and he's talking to me" thing. That was actually really good. He was like, I've either created the next Frankenstein or I have created the next hero of mankind, and there is no in between. I've either saved my son and made a hero, or I really fucked up.
Right.
One thing that I really thought, at first I liked the retcon to the origin where the mother had cancer and that's why he was being ignored, so it wasn't just straight up bad parenting.
Yeah.
But I said it on the stream yesterday, and I think it was Wade actually, that was like, that just makes Victor Stone look like a dickhead. Because now he's like, oh, you're dying of cancer, but I want attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's a little kid though, so
Yeah.
it makes it a lot easier to swallow when it's like this little kid that does not understand that his mom is dying, and then she dies and leaves them, and then that builds more grief and resentment. I felt like it made it a lot more relatable.
It's true. I always kind of like the, oh, my dad's a big nerd, so I'm going to play football. That'll show him.
That was his old origin.
Yes, I'll succeed. That'll show my parents.
That was something about his original backstory that always confused me, because it was like he was a really great student and he did really, really well at football. And I'm like, if I were acing honors classes and quarterback of the varsity football team at my school, I feel like my parents would be overjoyed.
Yeah, no, they would be. Like, that was one thing that never made any sense about his father. No, give up the football. Because you're super smart as well.
Nothing
Why
will ever
would
be
you
good
wanna
enough
be
for you, Dad.
well-rounded?
Stop trying to make me into a mini version of you, Dad. Then he slams his door and turns up his
But I mean, this makes... I think it makes more sense in a more modern take on the origin than just kind of, oh, his dad ignored him. No, it's like, no, his dad ignored him because his mom had cancer, and that's what he was kind of focused on, you know?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Cyborg's whole story, too, makes more sense if he's a teen. But he's not a teen anymore. He's an adult on the Justice League who's still dealing with very teenage, oh my god, Dad, problems. So it's a little weird, isn't it?
I'm
Yeah.
kind of wondering if maybe he's a little bit arrested in his development that way, because he is trapped in that cyborg body, and maybe he feels like, you know, time is going a lot slower for him, or maybe because he's got dad in the source code problems, he can never really move on from that.
Mm.
That's a really good reading, actually. And of course, you know, they end the comic by, you know, foreshadowing a new villain who perhaps has ties to all the cybernetic characters in the DC universe, from the Metal Man
I
to
thought
Cyborg
it was
Superman.
just the evil version of Victor, potentially.
Well, and that too.
The way they set it up that, you know, I don't know if you're my son or you're a Frankenstein, and then we can basically see a Frankenstein version of Victor, and you're like, well, which one's the real one and which one's the Frankenstein made out of the system?
That
I
actually
don't know,
makes
it was hard
a
to
lot
read.
of sense. I like that reading.
That I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's another villain. But like the way I looked at it was, yeah, there was a Frankenstein-esque monster that came out of this. We just don't know who's the real one. You know, but since the fucked up looking one is obviously the villain, I think we know who the good guy is.
Here's my question too. I know in early days of Justice League, I don't know whatever happened to this character, but Silas Stone's research partner was Tio Moro. Is Tio Moro still around? Was he hanging out there? Because Tio Moro is a really interesting character who creates a lot of cool villains. Is he still a thing? Is he still a supporting character in this book?
I don't think so.
No,
If I-
Joel.
If I wrote it, I would have made Tio Moro the villain. But
Well,
that's
you
that's why I
didn't
don't write 'em,
write
yeah.
it, Joel.
All right, so we got
Well,
Deadpool and Merch for Money. Anyone read the Deadpool book this week?
No.
Not yet? I do like Merch for Money, but I don't know. We'll see.
Is this
There's
the
a
new team
lot
or is
of-
this still the old team?
This
There's
is the
a
new
lot-
team. The old team still. Yeah.
There's
Okay.
a lot of stuff to read. And I don't know, when you're looking at that hierarchy and you have so much to read in such a short amount of time, that's always one where you can be like, I'll read it later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, I'll read main Deadpool, and if I get time, I'll read Deadpool spin-offs.
Yeah.
Plus, if you're reading main Deadpool, the last couple stories have dealt with the mercs of money and Deadpool kicking them to the curb anyway. So why would I want to read a book about a bunch of people Deadpool fired?
Yeah.
There's De-Evolution, Dishonored. No one read any of that stuff. No, anyone read the Doctor Strange yet? I know Tiffany probably did.
Yeah, she probably did, but I did not.
Is Tiffany there? We'll have her come in for this one book.
Let me ask.
Yo, Felicia.
Yo, Tiff.
Nah, not yet.
Okay, all right, so we'll move on to the next one then.
Oh, ask Tiffany if she wants a t-shirt and then message me later.
Sea Monster is making us t-shirts, everybody.
You're all getting t-shirts. They're
Do they all say Sea Monster, newest member of the Weekly Poll, and then at the bottom where you're like,
Just say-
the Weekly Poll?
they just say at that sea monster.
Right, they're just billboards.
Just billboard shirts.
I love
I'm looking
free
through the book to
shirts,
see what
so I'm
else.
not gonna say
Green
no.
Arrow. I know you read this, Green Arrow boy.
I sure did.
Take it away.
No, it's funny, after the stinger of the last issue where Ollie washes up on a mysterious island again, and even he's kind of like, crap, again. I assumed they were going to run with it.
happening to me?
But this 6th issue, much like the Batman issue, is kind of like a breather buffer issue. I assume this is where the trade ends, and then they're going to start over. This is a whole story about Imiko, which is really well needed because you figure Jeff Lemire created this character, then got ousted from the book and never got to do anything with her. Then she disappeared, and she's only just come back now in the Percy run. We get to hang out with her and how she learns to be a real girl, essentially, not a crazy assassin daughter, which is nice.
I want to be a real girl.
That's
Side
totally
note, every time someone says the real girl thing, my brain always goes back to this old show called Third Rock from the Sun.
Okay.
Does anyone remember that?
Oh my
Yes.
God,
a big giant head, yeah. I
Right,
remember.
right. Where aliens would come down and be in the body of a human, and then they go do things. Well, I remember the big giant head's wife came down to Earth, and I think she was in the body of Roseanne or something like that. But she shows up, and she made some comment about being a real girl or something along those lines. And the other girl said, it was a comment about like her mouth and putting stuff in it. And the other girl was like, just wait till you find all the other holes we have, or something along those lines.
Oh my god.
And every time someone says like a real girl, I'm always like,
See, I thought you were going to go Lars and the real girl route.
Yeah,
I just thought you
that's
really
all I
liked
that
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
creepy movie. I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
it was.
See, my thought is with the lady fedoras when they're like, I'm a real girl. I'm not like all the other girls. Different.
That's like the what is it? I'm
I'm
real
real.
gamer girl.
I'm so real about it, you guys. I'm just for real.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Olivia Munn.
No problem. Yeah.
On
Yeah,
that
what's
note,
funny-
so Green Arrow, would you say it's a good starting point?
Yeah, definitely. If you want to learn more about Imiko, you don't really have to know what happened before to appreciate this one. What I will say, they've introduced like the 5th Clock King in this right
Yes!
now.
Hey,
So-
Deathstroke got his own Clock King too.
Yes, he's the original William Talkman version. Then there was Billy Talkman, who was in the Jeff Lemire run, who was like an African-American gangsta guy who went by the name Clock King. This guy is also African-American, also calls himself the Clock King, but he has like a clock face tattoo and like a cool, trendy mohawk. So
Oh, I'm gonna get that.
I'm
Just
into
a clock.
that.
I'll be like, I'll have it point up and I go, it's high noon.
kind of looks like Benny, is
I am
the
so
thing.
sick of hearing that.
But Imiko
It's high
knew the old
noon.
Clock King, but doesn't know this new Clock King, which leads me to believe he's another Clock King. How many Clock Kings do we need in DC?
We need a lot.
I don't think they
literally
understand what the term
favorite
king means.
Silver Age villain of DC Rebirth.
Yeah.
It's
I
true.
want Condiment King to come back.
Condiment
But
King.
he will. You know that's going
Hey.
to be a huge thing.
Hey, All-Star Batman gave us Black Spider, Firefly, and Killer Moth, so probably.
Those
Yeah, plus-
guys were at
yeah.
least cool.
They were
Clock
at least
King?
villains. Condiment King is not.
At the very least, you'll see Crazy Quilt again.
Clock King
please
did have a
don't.
cool plan, though. He's basically selling people time like that Justin Timberlake movie. He
my
basically
God.
gives you mechanical speed that fills you with endorphins and gives you all the energy to get everything done in your life. But then when you run out of time, you got to come back to Clock King, pay him, and he tunes you up with more time.
Holy shit, the artwork in this Green Arrow is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good.
And it's not the other artist. It's a new artist.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Okay.
Yeah.
It's really sad because like my rule of 3 hasn't been working out in Rebirth because like at the end of the 3rd Green Arrow, I was like, I can live without this, but then it got really good again up to 6, and I was like, damn it.
That's kind of what I did. I kind of fell off like 2 or 3, and I haven't gone back into it yet because I got so many other things I'm reading. But
Yeah, no, it got really good at 5. And
okay.
then this Emiko story was also really good and really pretty, and I was like, damn it.
Isn't
like to make her
Fast
more-
Isn't Crazy Quilt dead? I thought he died in Endgame.
I think he did
Yeah,
too.
he did, didn't he?
But he has the life stitch though, so he can just come back.
He just. How do you stitch yourself up when you're dead, though?
Yeah.
You find a way.
Someone else did you.
He'll
With
just
your
show
dreams.
up. All right, so before we can move on to the next book and let the person who's in charge of this character typically lead point on it, can you say her name?
Is it Harley Quinn?
No. How did you mispronounce the name Harley? No.
Damn it.
So how was the Harley Quinn issue?
Harley Quinn issue was really good. I mean, I love just about anything that Amanda Connor and Palmiotti shit out, so of course I loved it. But basically, we see the conclusion to the zombies on Coney Island debacle, and
I'm so happy that ended. Like, they didn't let it run on too long.
they did.
It was just as long as it needed to be.
And I loved the
It
Red
only
Tool
spanned
stuff.
The 3 issues.
Yeah, it did. The 3 issues, it was great. It ended. We're done. We're moving on.
Well, that's one of the best things about Harley Quinn is that they jump into these little crazy adventures and they never last too long, except for Harley's Gang of Harleys, which has gone on long enough.
I'm so tired of that because it doesn't even make any sense anymore because she doesn't have the Gang of Harleys.
No, it doesn't. It's just anyway. I could go on so many rants about Harley's Gang of Harleys, but Harley Quinn was really good. We got to see Harley and Ivy debate about moving in together, so their relationship is becoming a lot more established, which I've enjoyed. And then we got a couple good gags. The Red Tool gag, where his new arm that they stitched on him at the hospital came from a convicted sex offender that was exposing
It's a
himself.
chronic
and checking on
masturbator.
the public.
Oh my god.
So so the best line on that whole book is they take the chronic masturbator's arm, they sew it onto Red Tool, and then he's like, "Take this arm off me right now! Take this arm off me right now!" And the guy's
And I'm like, don't worry.
"He was a lefty."
So, this isn't his dominant arm. Don't worry.
And then I like when the doctors are walking away, and the nurse is like, "Well, thank God it wasn't his dominant arm," and the doctor's like, "Yeah, whatever."
Yeah, the doctor literally goes, I don't give a shit.
To think they're actually doing so much with Red Tool, who began life as just a, hey, let's have a Deadpool parody, but now he's actually becoming like an entrenched character in the Harley Quinn book and coming back.
He's a really good parody character, and you can tell that the dynamic is starting to be, he's the straight man and Harley is the crazy zany one, and that's their dynamic together,
Right.
which I enjoy because Harley really needs that, especially in this series. Like with New 52, they were rotating out the straight man character, and now I feel like Red Tool is going to become the more established one. At least, unless
Tony was
I
always a good
it.
straight man character, but the problem with Tony is he couldn't go on a lot of the adventures because he's a midget.
Yeah.
That's that small person.
Oh, poor Tony.
I do
always
love
liked his
Tony and his
character, too.
Danzig
Yeah.
tattoo, though.
But it is kind of funny, though. You find out that the virus is caused by an alien who, of course, was dressed as a cow and was like, oh my gosh, they must worship these cows. And then there's like, nope. And then he gets cut up, put into a hot dog. And then his parents go looking for him.
Yeah.
Aw.
And it ends with his parents reassembling his bioparticles out from people's stomachs, putting
Go
him in a
aliens.
little reassembly chamber and flying off.
I like how Sal's like, "You lost me on aliens."
I mean, I'm not reading the book, so I can't participate in that discussion.
I mean, the alien was half right. Some humans worship cows, just, not here.
Just not in the right location.
So
Just
would you
not in
say
this
read
book.
this one or wait for 4?
I wouldn't start with this one. I'd wait for 4 because this one wraps up the previous 2.
Okay.
So I'd wait for 4 if you're going to just start or start with Harley Quinn Reaper.
Harley Quinn Rebirth is a good start. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm the only one that read Invincible Iron Man number 13.
No, it was good.
Oh, you did read it. Okay.
I did read it.
Well, then you take point in this because it's up to you
Oh.
this week.
All right, it's great. This is what Bendis does well. He takes a character and then has that character go through some shit. It's when he has like 30 characters that he like loses his
Yeah.
shit, has no idea what he's doing. But no, he knows how to handle Stark. He is still maintaining the cast of 4 and making it really work. He knows how to handle grief. He knows how to show a character struggle, and he's clearly, he has a plan and an end game for Tony Stark, and I think it'll be engaging and interesting, and I think the journey will be worth the price of admission. I think it's really good, and it has some great flashbacks slash like grief scenes where Tony is like dealing with Rhodey's death, and it's like dealt with in a real way, even though it's in like a vivid flashback kind of way. It's still.
But I love how they did that though, because it wasn't just a block flashback. It was like he would see something that would remind him, and then we'll know how it reminded him.
Exactly. It wasn't the typical, we're paralleling one story in the present with one flashback that mirrors the adventure. It's just moments that remind you of the person that's passed, like you do in real life. And it was well done. And Deodato Jr. does a wonderful job with art. And he only gets better with time. So it's
so would you suggest picking it up then?
I think it's definitely a good jumping on point. There's no context really needed except for like, so Doctor Doom has his fixed face and he seems to be obsessed with Tony Stark. Yeah.
I was gonna say you need to know that, and you need to know that Rhodey did die. I mean, otherwise you're like,
Rhodey dies though because he's like, my friend died. Like,
well, yeah, but I mean, like if they explain it a little bit, but it's not like. Having read Civil War definitely helps with that one.
No, that's true.
So it sounds like an actual tie-in.
Yeah, what really works is having that that page that explains your context for you. Which Marvel does brilliantly, and DC is like, nah.
No, you know what? On a side note, ranty moment here. Why does no one else do it?
I don't know. I love it.
Spawn does it. Spawn's the only other book I have found that does a context blurb to tell you where we're at.
I love it because it's like the episode recap at the start of a season, but for comic books, and I need that in my life.
What's the rumor?
I heard the rumor that DC isn't doing it simply because Marvel's doing it, but I can't imagine you would throw away a great idea like that for no reason. Like,
I mean, DC a lot of times will explain the backstory in the first couple of panels.
That's such a waste of real estate.
No, and I agree, and I don't like that because normally it's for a new reader, seeing the context page helps. Yeah. For a new reader, you're not aware that they're going to explain it over the next couple of pages. And when I write my scripts, like a lot of those books, a lot of DC books on the digital start on page 5, they end by 22, and like 3 of those are recaps. So
exactly. Well, it reminds me of those old days when a character you'd have like 3 or 4 pages of really cool action where a character is traveling, and they would have the thought bubble where they would contextualize everything that's happening, like everything, all the backstory, so you knew where, like, what they were about to get into, and you're like, we don't need this. Like, we could just have like a previously in Marvel kind of page. Mm-hmm. This is good. It's just, I think it's just a really good book. It's just, it's cool. It's what Bendis excels at, even when it's connected with an event. Like the best Civil War book Bendis ever wrote was The Confession. Yeah, which is when Cap died and Iron Man is confessing, whether it was worth it or not. It's a great issue. It still holds up.
It's really good.
Guys, I'm only echoing because somebody, namely Caitlin, not going to name her name though, is listening to speakers.
What?
That was perfect.
You got your speakers on too loud.
How's that?
I don't know. How is it? Oh, there we go. We're good.
Sounds fine to me.
I'm sorry.
Your reaction was so perfect for that.
Yeah.
You couldn't have written that better.
What?
It's about timing, guys.
And everyone says it best. What? Echo, echo, echo. All right, so the next one on the list, I'll take one of this one, is Justice League. I'm not gonna lie, 1 through 3 was pretty shoddy, but I'm getting on board with this now.
It's coming together.
It's coming back around and making sense now. While the first 3 were just kind of like, everything's happening, everyone panic.
Yeah, the dialogue is still not great.
No,
but it's fine.
Did we get to see any more of the Titans walking around or whatever heck those?
No, they're standing around right now.
Yeah, they're just standing. They stand in a circle though.
They do. This Justice League book loves taking ideas from everywhere. You got a little Mass Effect. You got a little Attack on Titan.
Well, no, the kicker with this one is this tied into the Rebirth? Like, are this just 2 world-ending events back to back?
Yeah, right? Like, what the crap? I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know if I can watch the world end twice.
No.
At this point, I might be like, I'm going to go live in a mountain and just wait for the world to end. Like you had one giant bug, and now we got another giant thing happening.
Technically 3 if you count what Hitch was doing in his Justice League of America book, which only came out with its penultimate issue last week.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what most people said. Yeah, whatever.
Marvel Zoom Zoom. Oh, as far as Justice League goes, no. I'm gonna Marvel Justice League. It's coming together. It's kind of it's a lot of forced dialogue in my opinion. Like we have to do things. We have to do this. We have to do that. But it's not horrible. We've had better, but it's enjoyable. Definitely read them all. If you read any of these out of order, you're gonna be lost.
Oh yeah.
Marvel Zoom Zooms. Anyone reading that?
No.
I just have a lot of them.
Marvel commercial. Are you reading any commercials?
Did anyone read the Doctor Strange Prelude?
No, I don't read those movie titles.
Does anybody read the movie prologue?
I do, but I loved your reaction. No. All right, I know you two normally read this. Are either one of you guys reading Moon Knight?
I
didn't read it.
I've been reading it, but I haven't. I kind of fell off the wagon there a little bit.
It's never high on my pile, but I do like to read it.
Well, I read Nightwing. Did you actually read it like I told you to, Sal?
I did.
All right.
I read
what
it
did
as
you
well.
think then?
It was cool.
Mm-hmm, and how?
All right then. Soul, take point.
Yeah, Joel, go for it.
Okay.
Well, I asked you, and you're like, "It's cool." That was dead air. I was like,
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, like, it was the last chapter in a ongoing arc, so I had no idea who half the character, who that new character was. The team
Raptor.
Yeah.
Raptor. And also, like, I'm like, oh, the guy turns into a giant owl. That's dumb. But like,
it made sense if you see them steal the stuff from the Cult of the Cobra they did a couple issues back,
Yeah.
so that's why.
I have no patience for snake cults.
There's too many of them, I agree.
There's just too many. They're all interchangeable and they're kind of dumb.
And you always read the leader's voice and Cobra Commander's voice, so
if
it's
that
really
were the
off-putting.
case, I will only accept it if it is Cobra.
I'll get you, G.I. Joe.
Duke, no. It's cool. It was Dick it has a great is a great character, and he's finally Nightwing, and he's doing fun things, and he definitely has like his approach to being a hero versus Batman's, and we see that dichotomy, and it's just a good book. It's just cool.
That's the big thing I wanted you to read was the exchange towards the end of him and Batman.
It's a
know?
great exchange.
What's hilarious is he's wrong. He's like, you don't do that. You don't know Batman. You don't know how about people and trust. And he's like, okay. And then it's like, and then the last page is like, don't ever trust anyone.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, I think Raptor's going to be a triple crosser is the thing, is what it's going to end up being. What I like is Batman laying into Dick and being like, how dare you trust a criminal? How dare you let them go? Catwoman, Catwoman.
Well,
you can't have sex with Raptor.
How do you know they didn't, though?
Yeah.
That's the most recent
Batman's
shit,
like,
you
ooh,
guys.
what?
No, I mean, I do like how Batman was kind of giving him the daddy lecture, and he immediately goes into the, you don't know me, I'm not you, I'm my own man.
You've never liked my friends.
That moment drove me nuts just because, they had the moment where Batman's on a step higher than Dick, and so, like, Batman's over him. And I'm like, yo, Dick, you were Batman.
Yeah.
In, like, what some consider to be one of the best Batman stories of all time. Like, you have already been Batman. You already established yourself as the better, as, like, a on par, if not equal or superior Batman. There's no more contest. Like, there's no conflict between the two of you anymore. You have become your mentor. You have surpassed your mentor. You have more respect from his son than he does.
Yeah.
I like.
Oh,
what
I
is
would
more
James
really
Damian
have
gave him
liked
when he
it
came
if-
back? Well, Damian was like, "Oh, you're back!"
Yeah.
I like
I
that a
was
lot.
so excited to see him. That was
I
good.
really would have liked it if they had spoken to each other as equals and on equal footing in those last panels, because you're right, Sal, I felt like it really diminished a lot of that character work and progression that they did.
Yeah,
and it was kind of irritating.
It's
As long as you
frustrating.
live in my cave, you will live under my rules. I don't even live in your cave anymore.
Yeah,
I
like,
don't live in your cave, Dad!
It's just like, if you want to talk about legacy and like bringing back the stuff everyone really enjoyed, like, do the things that people like. Let it go. Let go of the silly like son-father rivalry. Like, if you want to make Batman more well-adjusted and make him like a better Batman, like, then do that. Like, have him get over it. Like, have them grow.
He can't. Then we don't have Batman.
Exactly.
And then he'd be like, "Oh, I'm Batman." He'd be like, "I'm Batman."
I mean, no, they did that. They've done it before, and it's like it's interesting at least to see that progression.
The young will eat us if we allow
one of the sad things
them.
about Batman, though, is that I feel like even if he grows throughout his arc, at the end, he always regresses.
He's always got
Yes.
to be Batman at the end of it.
You know, everybody grows up and kind of leaves him and abandons him in his little pit of self-pity known as the Batcave.
Which is why I love Batman Beyond, because it's like, wow, in the end, he was all alone. Yeah, that's how it's going to end, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
From now on, all my Batman books, I'm going to read it. I'm Batman. Hey, everyone. Be afraid.
For me, like
I am
that
vengeance,
was,
I am the night.
I am
wanted to
vengeance.
see
I am
that
the night.
approach. I really wanted to see that approach. This is an old book, but after 52, when like Batman is like, I'm doing it wrong. I'm gonna take my surrogate sons and I'm going to retrain with them and learn how to be a team player and like get my shit together. Like, I wanted to see a real Batman after that. Like, I wanted to see a new Batman, and they just didn't do it. And they've never really done that. Like, they've never done like well-adjusted team player Batman. They've done team player Batman because as much as Batman's a loner, he has like 35 people on his team at any given point.
The
Well, he never
Outsiders and
trusts any of
Batman
them, I mean-
Incorporated.
And the Justice League.
They had the Justice League, the Batman Incorporated, and then like the entirety of the New 52 Scott Snyder run was a lot of you don't trust anyone. Oh, but all that previous Batman stuff's in history here, so he kind of did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's frustrating when you have like a writer who is like a definitive writer on Batman, but also someone who'd never bothered to read old Batman books.
Yeah, that is a little irritating.
And on that note, has anybody read Supergirl?
No, the art looks
After
really
Super
good.
Werewolves, no.
I was gonna forgive Super Werewolves. I just didn't get to this yet. The art looks really good.
Yeah,
It does.
that's it.
Steve Orlando's doing pretty good. He gets to write that Midnighter and Apollo miniseries, and he gets to write JSA when that becomes a thing. So that's cool. Or no, the new JLA that's spinning out of Suicide Squad Batman.
All right, well, let's end on the last one then. The other super person that I know Sal read,
Oh yeah.
because he was telling me like, dude, you gotta read Superman.
You gotta read
Pretty
Superman.
great.
Superman.
It was pretty friggin' great. He was right.
So I think everyone here read it. So we'll just have Sal take point. We'll just go around the circle, see what everyone thinks.
Yeah, I'll limit my addressing. As I've said time and time again, for the last 6 issues of Superman, even if the art dips in quality, there's always at least 2 pages that are freaking amazing. and I don't mean like just consistently. Like, this has been some really, really solid art. I have some gripes, and the only gripe I have is the Jonathan art. He looks like a space alien. Like, it looks really weird. He has this weird
The
face.
He's
last
technically
page
half
looks-
space
it looks
alien.
the
Yeah,
worst.
but like, what's wrong with his face? Like, every time I look at his face, I'm like,
this last page is the worst. Let me see if I can pull it up.
it's unbelievable, that
behind
last
it all.
page.
Well, because he's also standing there in the suit, but it like before
Yeah.
they darkened up the little like ab sides,
Uh-huh.
so it really looks like he just has no waist. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's really
He's also
weird.
got the bobblehead effect really badly because
It's really
they made the
weird.
shadow under his head way too big.
And
Yeah.
they've drawn him heroic looking and cool looking, and also that moment. I remember that double page splash where he tears off his like outer
Excellent
outfit and he
stuff.
has the hoodie. That was amazing looking.
Yeah.
And this issue has lots of that in it. But that said, I think it's just great. It's just great. It's true to form. This writer, perfect for Batman. I mean, for Superman. I'm usually
Tomasi, yeah.
Tomasi, yeah.
So what did you think about it, Caitlin?
I loved it. I'm sure you guys can guess my favorite part was that Crypto came back.
Oh,
What a
that was
comeback.
so heartwarming.
I was so happy. And he goes, Crypto, sit. And Crypto's
Yeah.
like, I did it.
Take that, Eradicator. That'll show you.
That was amazing. That moment, heal. Oh,
So good.
Yeah.
So good. I loved the whole thing. This Superman does not normally captivate me because I like things either really gritty or really nonsensical. I don't usually go for that happy medium that Superman falls into. But I've been totally captivated by Superman Rebirth. It's made me so happy.
yeah.
Yeah,
This
it's been
issue
amazing.
Gives us basically
Sal,
Super
shut up.
Saiyan
I mean, not
Superman.
Sal. Joel, shut up.
You already
Like, I
said
was
it. You already say it. You can't take it back now.
I was
Go ahead, Joel. I'm playing around.
I was gonna say I like this issue gave us basically Super Saiyan Superman infused with the souls of Krypton, and he's burning like hot fire.
Yeah.
And that's just one of like several poster quality images this issue gives us. They recreate the classic Superman pose of him standing in front of Apollo 11 with the flag there and everything. How great was that? Did you think you would see that when you opened up this book? I didn't.
No.
This was awesome.
So good.
So great.
The book is amazing. I loved every moment of it. I've loved the entire storyline. I'm going to be covering it very soon on the channel. The only problem I have is, once again, now we've basically have had 3 meetups of Superman at the Justice League without any real acknowledgement of a. Remember when the Rebirth first started? The only thing Sal and I really wanted was that exchange between Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman.
Yes.
And the closest we got was not being able to read it, but apparently they talked outside of the house.
Yeah, on the farm, we see them like with hushed voices outside of John's window. And constantly, even in the last Justice League book, like, Superman's on the farm, and he's like, you gotta go, and I don't trust you. And I'm like, are we ever gonna get a Batman-Superman book in which Batman and Superman talk to each other for a freaking
Maybe
second?
the Trinity book. I just remember there is a Trinity book still coming out, I think.
I know, but like, when? And when am I gonna see that damn thing? Like,
I feel like it's coming soon. Like, it has to. Or else none of this makes any sense. It has to.
yeah.
That first issue has to be all of them talking.
Yes. Now,
Yeah.
that said, like, we've gotten...
Trinity is slated for September still. I don't know. It doesn't
Now,
say
for
the
me,
date.
we've had some terrific first meetings. Aquaman could have been handled way better.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, though, in Action Comics, it was handled perfectly. Wonder
That was
Woman and
pretty
Superman,
slick.
where Wonder Woman's like, you're like, we're doing this, and he's like, I trust you because you're Diana of Themyscira. Like, we're gonna do this, and she protects his son, and it's awesome. We haven't seen a really, really solid. I'm old Superman. And you're Bruce Wayne, so I inherently trust you, and you don't trust me, and that's kind of okay because that's how it's always been.
It's our thing.
Like,
Yeah.
but like I can imagine. I want to see that moment where like real Superman like slaps New 52 Batman on the back, and goes like, "You and me are gonna be really good friends one day." Like
that scene would be incredible.
I'm waiting for that moment.
I
We
would
get
love
the
that.
closest thing to it is the reveal of Superboy and and Wonder Woman being like, "This is nice," and Batman being like, "Another Kryptonian."
Great.
And like I'm like, yeah, that's fun. That's cool. Yeah, I'm down for that.
I love too. They officially give him the name Superboy. They've been building up to it, obviously. I imagine somewhere Connor's ears are burning. It's like, I feel like someone just took my name.
From his grave.
Don't worry,
he's
no
doing
one
that.
wants to make a book about you.
Of course not. Which, in fairness, it's like, well, I mean, this is like an older Superman from another world. He might not know what the deal is with Connor in this world. But then I'm like, but wait, shouldn't he try and find the Superboy of this world? Because, like, yeah, you're technically my family.
This is the Superboy. Clark, we have one of those. No. This
Nope.
is the Superboy.
He's
I
my
feel
son.
like that's very Clark, though. Kind of a little bit blissfully unaware of certain things outside of his bubble.
But hey, that's a story Tomasi could tell later if he really wanted to. Connor coming back and be like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
If the
You wrote me
content
out of
well
the
gets a
will.
little dry, just like Fish for the Superboy at the very bottom.
Yeah.
You could have Battle of the Superboys. You could concoct some reason that
Oh
they need
god,
to
this
fight
is why
each other.
Joel doesn't write comics, because it would be a legit battle of the Superboys.
Yeah. War
You
of
can't
the
tell me that's not a
Superboys.
money idea that wouldn't sell. We'll have holographic
It would sell,
covers
but
and
then it would
trading
just be another one of those events where we're like, did this happen?
It
We had a
would
thing called
sell-
Robin War. It sold great. No one liked
Yeah.
it.
Ooh, I
It
hated
would
that.
sell, but that's the difference between marketing and actually creating content, Joel.
I don't know the difference.
You
And on
shill.
that note, I think we're going to wrap up for the day, because that's all the books, isn't it?
That is it.
Yeah.
That's all the books. They're fit to print.
Superboy Prime shows up. It's like, what about me?
But
No
guys,
one really cares about
Apparently,
you.
Tiffany did read Doctor Strange. She
Yeah,
could
I was
talk
actually, that's what I was going to ask, because she said in the comments she did, so if she wants to sit in for a minute and talk about it.
Yeah, I thought she said no, but apparently she said the opposite of no.
I just yelled no because I was trying to put something on.
Oh, okay. Well, there you have it.
We're going to the Renaissance Fair on Saturday, and it's Pirate Weekend, and this just came in the mail.
Oh, nice.
cute. Oh,
Tiffany, you have to get lower so we can
They
see
don't
your
see your
face,
head.
too.
Yeah. Get lower.
You're you're doing what we discussed before.
I know, but that's the thing that came in the mail. That's what you want to see.
That
Arr.
is so cute.
Right? I'm a pirate.
You are. You're the cutest pirate that ever lived.
We were just talking about pirates before.
I've never dressed up and gone to the Renaissance Fair. I've gone to the Renaissance Fair, but not dressed up.
I've always wanted to go
You
to a
look
Renaissance
so
fair.
good
Never
dressed
been.
up, though. Dress up all the time.
Thank you. So I did read Doctor Strange, and I initially was really kind of down on it, like before I even got it in my hands, because they were like, it's another origin story as an in-between with a different artist, because I guess Bocciolo needed some time off.
Mm.
But it was a really well-told origin story that is clearly like barely hinting at his origins and really just mirroring what's currently going on in the comic. So like overall, like I was like, this is cooler than I thought, because we just had the last days of Magic, in which Magic was destroyed essentially throughout the Marvel universe. And so now you have Doctor Strange, sorcerer of nothing.
He's
Like,
in the unemployment
I'm honestly
line.
waiting to read Doctor Strange. I'm letting it all pile up, and I'm going to start just blitzing through it.
Well, now's a good time in a way, because like 1 through 10 is a good set of arc. You know what I mean? Like you get like the intro to this world of Doctor Strange, then you get the last days of Magic, which was fun. The ending could have been a little more developed, but this issue, we go back, we just kind of take this like moment where we see Strange essentially trying to like fix his hands back when he first had his accident, and trying different things, including getting an injection of mutant hormones, which gives him like laser eyes for a second. I'm like, dude, hang on to that. You're gonna need those laser eyes.
Man, he's hitting the MGH, man.
Who decides, who gets laser beam eyes and goes, nah, I think I'm going to refrain?
No, you know, I think it didn't take, and it almost kills him.
Oh,
And,
well.
yeah, so like it's it, but I was like, still, that could have come in really handy in this last arc that we just were in. But then we briefly meet the Ancient One. We briefly meet Baron Mordo, which actually sets him up as the villain for the next arc.
Oh,
so
that's
I'm like, smart guys, bringing Mordo in as the movie's coming out.
Funny how they always seem to do that these
Right?
days, Marvel.
So I'm excited.
So
still.
it's a good jumping on point then?
I think if you're not a Strange fan, yes, it's really funny too to see. I can't remember what his name is, the artist who's doing it now, doing his own style, but then also trying to essentially be Chris Bocciolo. Like he's trying to do that at the same time. So like it's weird, but fun.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Right on.
I'm gonna pick that up.
No one's going to say anything about X-Men. X-Men didn't tie any to any of the events. Did anyone read Uncanny X-Men?
It's
No.
Magneto and the Hellfire Club. They're still trying to clean up the mess that was Apocalypse War. It's better than Apocalypse War, I'll give it that much.
The cleanup of Apocalypse War is better than Apocalypse War.
Yes, it is. That event made a big old mess, and now they gotta mop it up with sawdust.
Oh my god.
No, it's
Yep.
not that nobody reads X-Men. It just, for some reason, wasn't in my list. I don't know why. The list of the books that come out.
I read X-Men. I'm just disappointed by it.
I read all new
Yeah.
X-Men. I don't read Uncanny X-Men.
The fact that X-Men janitorial has been better than the main event says a lot about
That's
why
a
people
team,
are avoiding it.
ex-janitors, people who don't save the world with their mutant abilities.
Wasn't
just
there a
keep
Marvel
it
book
together.
about that? Like a team that would clean up the mess?
Yeah, damage control.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting a TV show soon.
So,
Yeah.
all right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap up this now. We're going to bring the show down to a close. Don't forget, I'm Benny the Comicstorian. That is Sal from Comic Pop.
It was Sal from Comic Pop.
No, that's Sal.
Oh, that's Sal from Comic Pop. Sal looked good.
No, seriously though, that's Tiffany. You can find her over on the comic book channel with Sal. That is Caitlin. You can find her on the Sea Monster channel. She does comedy and stuff like that. And that is Jolie does cooking.
I need to do another one of those, actually. I have an idea in mind for a Harley Quinn booze drink I might be trying to put together soon.
I know nobody read Batman Beyond because I don't know about everyone else, but I'm waiting for the rebirth at this point. I just jumped
Who
on
isn't?
the Batman Beyond book. Did you read it?
Who, me? Nah, I didn't. I'm
Exactly. I'm waiting for the Batman Beyond rebirth with Terry McGinnis again.
And even then, I still might not read it because I hate the new world they built for Batman Beyond.
But I'm fine with it as long as we get Terry McGinnis back. I'm tired of Tim Drake.
Yeah. Yes.
Give me that drink recipe.
You can see the video when it's done.
So, all right, guys, that's everything for today. Sorry if I seemed a little out of it. I'm really tired. Like, I really need a nap.
It's weird how after those convention marathons you get real tired.
Yeah, I don't know.
You need to have like 6 Monster Energy drinks.
You know what we're
That's
going to
all
do? We're not
they
going
were
to close the
thinking.
show, Tiffany. You're all going to have to sit there and I'm going to nap.
All right. That's
Welcome to
fine.
Napcast,
We can talk.
everybody.
Yeah, we could totally talk. We don't even need you.
Yeah, Benny.
I'm scared I need adult.
Everyone's like, Terry did come back. I know, because they got to set up Rebirth, but Rebirth is the Terry issues.
He wants the Terry issues.
Right,
He wants.
that's like next week, isn't it? I think they're doing a Harley. We're like, we're done. Get the new one out.
I guess.
Yep.
What a poor idea to try and launch a Batman Beyond book without Terry McGinnis, and what an even
It
poorer
wasn't
idea.
bad. I read it till issue 13.
Eh.
And then that's when they started setting up that New World stuff. They're like, oh, well, we didn't get canceled like we thought.
It angers me because it's still technically a continuation of Future's End, that event that we do not speak of as if it was Voldemort.
Yeah, I know.
Don't even bring that up. Someone, like, we have all of Future's End, and Sal keeps threatening to do it on back issues and making all of us be there. I keep saying I'm going to be sick. I'm like,
Sal,
I'm
I
so
will pay
sorry
you
for you.
$1,000 to do the Future's End back issues.
No.
I read
no,
every issue
don't
as it
do
came
that.
out. I
None
can
of
get
us want to
money.
do it.
And,
None
and
of the
Ben
three of
and
us.
Tiffany have
Tiffany,
to be
you
there.
can hide at my house. It'll be okay.
I'll be packing my bags because I don't want to sit there for that.
I'm like that old guy in the horror movie. You don't want to go down that road. That's the Future's End road. You don't want to go down there.
And I'm the person who's like, check please. I'm gonna go.
Guys, if we can get Comic Pop to 50K, he'll do Future's End.
That might be worth it. If it
Right.
like 10,000 more subs,
We
yeah.
just give him 10,000 more subs, he'll do Future's End.
There you go.
And
Oh.
I guess with all of us, huh?
Yeah.
All my Future's End single reviews have been deleted from time in the internet, and honestly, it's no loss.
So anyway,
Yep.
since no one cares about Joel, I'm going to close out the show right here.
Achoo! Achoo!
Everyone, Tiffany's frozen with a weird face.
That's okay. That's usually what I have.
That's like it's basically a very judging face.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's totally what I typically have.
I feel like you're looking at my shoes like they're not good enough.
Oh, that's funny because
Hold
Kaylin's
on.
frozen for me.
Hold on,
Wait.
I'm screenshotting judgmental Tiffany. This is
Yes!
this has to become a
Tiffany
meme.
is judging you.
It's the new meme.
You need
All
to
right,
meet
guys.
that.
I'm like
we
the
will
living
see
tribal.
you all later. I'm Benny. That is Caitlin. That is Joel. That is judgmental Tiffany. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.